A protest of poor fishermen and other depressed groups of Munambam and Cherai, two coastal villages in Ernakulam district in Kerala, against the move of Waqf Board to take over their homes and property where they have been living for generations, has become the embodiment of all arguments in favor of Waqf amendment bill brought in Parliament by Narendra Modi government. Do you still think the Waqf Amendment Bill is a move by a fascist party to establish Brahminical hegemony in India, or is it a move to curb the right of a minority group? The protesters of Munambam have got a definite answer about it. You know, almost 600 families in Munambam and Charai panchayats are affected by the move of Waqf Board to take over the property. And of them, 400 belong to Latin Catholic Church. So this is actually, the protest is not by fascists or any people who support Brahminical hegemony against minority groups. This is the victim, the majority of victims are actually a minority group, and the aggressor here is Waqf Board. So this has actually appended many narratives, existing narratives. This has actually exposed the duplicity of many political parties. You know, the Congress and the CPIM, the main political parties in Kerala, are against the amendment of Waqf Act, which has been promulgated by a Congress government. So their argument is the amendment is not in the interest of poor people, or it is a move to curb the rights of minorities. But the protests at Munambam and Cherai prove that it is actually the Waqf Board which acts like an autocrat, and the sweeping powers of one organization is wreaking or devastating a society, dividing the society on communal lines. If you want to know about the whole history of what is going on in Munambam and Cherai, you need to know about how the land fell into the hands of Waqf Board. So you need to know about the history of the protest, and why all on a sudden the Waqf Board got some interest. There is a very serious allegation. I am not raising the allegation. You know, a priest of Catholic Church who spoke at a protest meet recently said about a secret ship that anchored off coast of Munambam coast a few years ago. The ship was from Pakistan, and police took into custody all the crew of the ship, as well as they seized the ship. But nothing is heard about the entire episode afterwards. So what might have happened? What was there in the ship? Was it carrying some illegal things? Did they come here to carry out an illegal operation? Nobody knows. So such arguments raise very serious questions about the unprecedented move of Waqf Board in claiming a land where the other people have been living for generations. So let's take a closer look into the whole issue. Welcome to Insights. I am Hari Kumar. Let's start from 1902. It was a time when the Travancore king gave around 400 acres of land at Munambam to a rich Muslim, perhaps I think he was a merchant, named Ismail Seth. The land was not sold to Ismail Seth. It was not granted to Ismail Seth. It was given on lease. Even at that time, poor fisher people of Latin Catholic community and poor Hindus were living on the land. And if you look closely, examine closely, you would find that it worked like a three-tier system. The land ownership right belonged to Travancore king, and he gave it on lease to Ismail Seth, and Ismail Seth sublet it to poor people. So that was the way it worked. Perhaps Ismail Seth was getting some money or collecting money from the people to whom he sublet. I don't know exactly about that. When India got freedom in 1947, then naturally and legally that land should have been returned to the government. So when India got freedom, the government meant Kerala government or government of India. The land should have gone back to the government, but the Ismail said didn't do that. Instead, he handed over the land to his son. His name is Siddiq Seth. It was actually an illegal act. How could he transfer land which was not owned by him to his son? That was clearly a fraud. The Seth family has to answer that. And then what did Siddiq Seth do? Siddiq Seth handed over the land a couple of years later to Farooq College Trust. They were running a college in Kozhikode, which is a couple of 100 kilometers away from Kochi, Ernakulam district. It was also an illegal act. And while transferring, he wrote on the documents as Waqf. So everything was fraud. He didn't have the right to hand over the land which he didn't own to someone else, and therefore he didn't had the right to declare it as Waqf also. But the problem is, if you declare land as Waqf, then it becomes an irreversible act. It becomes the land of God Allah. So you cannot give it back. This is the way they used to encroach properties. So that happened. Then there arose some problems. Those people who were living on the lands when approached court, and as I said, since it was declared a Waqf property, it could not be reversed. So then the courts gave verdict against the inhabitants on the land. But the winner of the case, the Farooq College, they knew very well that they could not evict all those people, 600 families. Evicting them was very difficult. So there could be other questions, social issues also. So they didn't do that. They worked out a compromise with the affected people, and they sold the land at the then market rates to those people who were living there. They got everything. They got all documents. They were paying the taxes also. There was no problem till around 2010, when the cunning Seth family floated another organization. It was named Waqf Protection Council or something like that. And then there was some protest. So the then Chief Minister, Mr. V.S. Achuthanandan, appointed a single judge commission. The name of the judge was Moitu Ahmad Nisar. He was a retired district judge. And he was entrusted with inquiring into whether the property was Waqf or not. And he found that the property was Waqf property. He gave such a verdict. As per the legal standards or legal yardsticks, as per the existing laws, if a property is declared Waqf, it cannot be reversed. So what happened? Immediately the Waqf Board, Kerala State Waqf Board, came to know about it. They got the information, and they declared the property Waqf, and they informed the Tahsildar of the area, who stopped receiving taxes from the residents. Remember, those residents have been paying taxes for many years. All on a sudden, they were denied. They were told that the land didn't belong to them. No notice was sent to them. Their case was not heard by anybody. So this is the situation. They went to the courts, but they didn't get a redressal for their grievance. The problem is, once you declare a land as Waqf, there is no reversal. So what could you do, especially poor people? This is the real issue. There are some clauses in Waqf Act passed by the previous Congress governments in 1995 and 2014, 13, that if a property is declared Waqf by Waqf Board, then there is no going back. You cannot revert. So going to court and everything else becomes very difficult. The community is a very politically assertive community. They have got a huge vote bank. They have got money power and muscle power. Who will oppose them? So those who think that Waqf Amendment Act is something like encroaching the rights of minority, you come to this Munambam village, you know that one minority is actually trying to seize the rights of another minority, and a weaker minority, and a poorer minority. So this is the reality. And all the narratives have been built on imagined or conspiracy theories. Now, here are the real issues. Real people in blood and flesh are revolting. They know the danger of sweeping powers in the hands of Waqf. Nowhere in the world you have like this. So, in a democratic country, it cannot be allowed. So, this is what people in the area feel. They have united, the Hindus and Christians have united, irrespective of their religion, and the Catholic Church is in the forefront of the protest. So, this is the reality. And I think this is going to influence the public discourse also. Political parties from now onwards cannot run with the hare and hunt with the hound. They have been doing that. The duplicity have been exposed. Now they don't have many options. They have to stand with one side. They have to stand with the truth. They have to call spade a spade. Will they do it? This is the question. Meet you with another topic next time. Till then, goodbye.